Metatron or Mattatron is an archangel in Judaism and in Christian folklore. According to Jewish medieval apocrypha, he is Enoch, ancestor of Noah, transformed into an angel. There are no references to Metatron as an angel in the Jewish Tanakh or Christian scriptures. However, Genesis 5:24 is often cited as evidence of Enoch's bodily ascension into heaven. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not. For God took him. Although he is mentioned in a few brief passages in the Talmud, Metatron appears primarily in medieval Jewish mystical texts and other post-scriptural esoteric sources, such as the Books of Enoch, 1 Enoch, Book of Parables, 2 Enoch, and 3 Enoch. In Rabbinic tradition, he is the highest of the angels and serves as the celestial scribe. Origins: the Book of Parables presents two figures, the Son of Man and Enoch. At first these two characters seem to be separate entities. Enoch views the Son of Man enthroned in heaven. Later, however, they prove to be one and the same. Many scholars believe that the final chapters in the Book of Parables are a later addition. Others think they are not, and that the Son of Man is Enoch, a unregistered trademark S heavenly double, similarly to the prayer of Joseph where Jacob is depicted as an angel. The Book of Daniel displays two similar characters, the Ancient of Days and the one like a man. Parts of the text in Daniel are Aramaic and may have been changed in translation. The Septuagint reads that the Son of Man came as the Ancient of Days. The identification of Metatron with Enoch is not explicitly made in the Talmud, although it does reference a prince of the world who was young but now is old. However, some of the earliest Kabbalists assumed the connection. There also seems to be two Metatrons, one spelled with 6 letters, and one spelled with 7. The former may be the transformed Enoch, prince of the countenance within the divine palace. The latter, the primordial Metatron, an emanation of the cause of causes, specifically the 10th and last emanation, identified with the earthly divine presence. Furthermore, the Merkabah text unregistered trademark Yehezkel identifies the Ancient of Days from the Book of Daniel as Metatron. Talmud: the Talmud relates that Elisha ben Abuya, also called Acre, entered paradise and saw Metatron sitting down. Elisha ben Abuya therefore looked to Metatron as a deity and said heretically, "There are indeed two powers in heaven." The rabbis explain that Metatron had permission to sit because of his function as the heavenly scribe, writing down the deeds of Israel. The Talmud states, it was proved to Elisha that Metatron could not be a second deity by the fact that Metatron received 60 strokes with fiery rods to demonstrate that Metatron was not a god, but an angel, and could be punished. The Babylonian Talmud mentions Metatron in two other places, Sanhedrin 38b and Avodah Zarah 3b. In Sanhedrin 38b, Aminim tells Rabbi Idith that Metatron should be worshipped because he has a name like his master. Rabbi Idith uses the same passage Exodus 23:21 to show that Metatron was an angel and not a deity and thus should not be worshipped. Furthermore, as an angel, Metatron has no power to pardon transgressions, nor was he to be received even as a messenger of forgiveness. Avodah Zarah 3b, in the fourth quarter God sits and instructs the school children. In the preceding 3 quarters Metatron may take God's place or God may do this among other tasks. Yevamot 16b records an utterance attributed to the Prince of the World. I have been young and now I am old. In Rabbinic tradition this utterance is attributed to Metatron. Kirk-Yasani, the 10th century Karaite scholar Kirk-Yasani believed that Rabbinic Judaism was the heresy of Jeroboam I. He quoted a version of Sanhedrin 38b, which he claimed contained a reference to the Ulsa Yhvh Jersham Skolem suggests that the name was deliberately omitted from later copies of the Talmud. However, Kirk-Yasani may have misrepresented the Talmud in order to embarrass his Rabbinite opponents with evidence of polytheism. Extra-Talmudic mystical texts such as Sefer Hekhalot do speak of a lesser Yhvh, apparently deriving the concept from Exodus 23:21, which mentions an angel of whom God says my name, understood as Yhvh, the usual divine proper name as in him. Merkabah and later mystical writings, Metatron also appears in the Fsed Epigrapha, most prominently in the Hebrew Merkabah Book of Enoch, also called 3 Enoch or Sefer Hekhalot. The book describes the link between Enoch, son of Jad, and his transformation into the angel Metatron. His grand title, the Lesser Yhvh, resurfaces here. The word Metatron is numerically equivalent to Shaddai in Hebrew gematria. Therefore, he is said to have a name like his master. Metatron says, "He, the Holy One, called me, the Lesser Yhvh, in the presence of his whole household in the height, as it is written, my name is in him." The narrator of this book, supposedly Rabbi Ishmael, tells how Metatron guided him through heaven and explained its wonders. 3 Enoch presents Metatron in two ways, as a primordial angel and as the transformation of Enoch after he was assumed into heaven. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. Genesis 5:24 KJV. This Enoch, whose flesh was turned to flame, his veins to fire, his eyelashes to flashes of lightning, his eyeballs to flaming torches, and whom God placed on a throne next to the throne of glory, received after this heavenly transformation the name Metatron. The Zohar calls Metatron the youth, a title previously used in 3 Enoch, where it appears to mean servant. It identifies him as the angel that led the people of Israel through the wilderness after their exodus from Egypt, and describes him as a heavenly priest. In the later ecstatic Kabbalah, Metatron is a messianic figure. Etymology: there are numerous possible etymologies for the name Metatron. Some scholars, however, such as Philip Alexander, believe that if the name Metatron originated in Hekhalot Merkabah texts, then it may be a made-up word like the magic words Adion and Daptaparon. Hugo Ederberg, Adolf Jelinek and Marcus Jastrow suggest the name may originate from either Matara, keeper of the watch, or the verb mmtia, to guard, to protect. An early derivation of this can be seen in Shimusha Rabbah, where Enoch is clothed in light and is the guardian of the souls ascending to heaven. Ederberg also suggests that the name Metatron might be taken from the Persian name Mithras. Citing Asna, he lays out a number of parallels between Mithras and Metatron based on their positions in heaven and duties. Metatron seems to be made up of two Greek words for after and throne, I1/4 I micron I A1/2 degree I R cubed I1/2 II, taken together as one who serves behind the throne, or one who occupies the throne next to the throne of glory. The two words do not appear separately in any text known to Gershom Scholem, who therefore dismisses the idea with the words this widely repeated etymology has no merit. The word I-floron I1/2 I1/2 II is used as co-occupant of the divine throne. However, like the above etymology, it is not found in any source materials. It is supported by Sol Lieberman and Peter Shekaran-Sefer, who give further reasons why this might be a viable etymology. The Latin word mtator had been suggested by Elazar ben Judah of Worms, Rabbi Moshe ben Nachman, and brought to light again by Hugo Ederberg. When transliterated into the Hebrew language, we get unregistered trademark or unregistered trademark. Gershom Scholem argues that there is no data to justify the conversion of mtator to Metatron. Philip Alexander also suggests this as a possible origin of Metatron, stating that the word mtator also occurs in Greek as mitator, a word for an officer in the Roman army who acted as a forerunner. Using this etymology, Alexander suggests the name may have come about as a description of the angel of the Lord who led the Israelites through the wilderness, acting like a Roman army mtator guiding the Israelites on their way. Another possible interpretation is that of Enoch as a mtator showing them how they could escape from the wilderness of this world into the promised land of heaven. Because we see this as a word in Hebrew, Jewish Aramaic, and Greek, Alexander believes this gives even more strength to this etymology. Other ideas include I1/4 I1/2. Charles Mopseek believes that the name Metatron may be related to the sentence from Genesis 5:24 Enoch walked with God, then he was no more, because God took him. The Greek version of the Hebrew word to take is I1/4 I micron I. KY, meaning RON, is a standard addition to KY, Metatron, and other angelic names in the Jewish faith. So Mopseek believes if we concentrate on MTT, he believes it appears to be a transliteration from the Greek I1/4 I micron I. In the entry entitled Paradigmata in his study, The written as the vocation of conceiving Jewishly, John W. McGinley gives an accounting of how this name functions in the Bavli's version of four-ended paths. This account maintains that Ishmael ben Elisha is a rabbinically sanctioned cognomen for Elisha ben Abuya. This hypothesis explains why the generators of the Chambers portion of the Haikalot literature make Ishmael ben Elisha the major protagonist of their writings, even though this Rabbi Ishmael was not directly mentioned in the Bavli's account of the work of the chariot. Solomon Judah Labrapor Inigratia suggests that Metatron is a combination of two Greek words which mean to change, and pass away, referring to Chinook, who changed into an angel and passed away from the world. See also. References. External links. Discovery of Metatron's cube in 3D. G. G. Strumzer, Form S. of God, Some Notes on Metatron and Christ, Harvard Theological Review 76, 269 €288, Rabbi Jeffrey W. Dennis, The Encyclopedia of Jewish Myth, Magic and Mysticism, Llewellyn Publications, ISBN 978-0738709055, excerpts about Metatron from books by Andrei Aulov, The Etymology of the Name Metatron, Metatron is a deity, lesser YHWH, Metatron is a mediator, Metatron is the prince of the world, Metatron is God's Shikoma, Metatron is the youth, Metatron. As the expert in secrets, Metatron is the scribe.